Hello and welcome back to room 261 here at Carlinville High School overlooking beautiful West Main Street. Today in applied math, we are going to be calculating some irregular shapes um, and then also going to be talking about carpeting your house. And so you have an assignment there with a packet of problems. This is the first problem on the packet. And the job here is to calculate the area. Um, and so different people do this different ways. Some people on this problem, they will say to themselves, if this is 20 feet all the way across and then 6 feet here, then they'll say to themselves that this distance here that I'm marking, yeah, I don't know if I'll make it perfect here, but anyway, this distance here that I'm marking is actually, 14 feet. And maybe I'll try to make that a little bigger. And so what that means then is the rectangle that I'm tracing here, and it won't be perfect because of the angle of the picture, but that rectangle that I just made is, 14 by 10. And then this rectangle down here, is 6 this way. And then since this is 7, right, then and this whole thing is 10, then this little bit is 3. And so that rectangle is a 3 by 6. Okay. And so that dimension there is 3. And so we've got two rectangles essentially, one that's 14 by 10 and then one that's 6 by 3. And so that means that this area in that rectangle is 140, and in this rectangle would be 18. And then so our answer for the problem would be 140 plus 18, which is 158. And we should put square feet as our answer. The little hash mark there by these numbers, that means feet in America. All right. Cool. Some other people, instead of doing it that way, actually they would, I'll do this a little faster than I did the last problem, but they would actually think of this whole big rectangle here, and they'd say that's 20 by 10, which is 200. And then they would think of this rectangle here, which is 7 by 6, which is 42. And then they would take, 200 minus 42. All of a sudden, the numbers got smaller for some reason. And anyway, so they would take 200 minus 42. And again, the answer is 158, no matter how you do it. And so that is the very first problem on your homework. Let's take another look here at your homework. I thought I had it pulled up. There it is. And so, maybe let's do one with a triangle involved or something. And so we'll try number 9 maybe. So let's take a look and we'll cut and paste number 9 somewhere. And so this is the problem that we're going to do. Let's make a new picture where we can kind of work on it. And I'll hit paste. I'll make it a little bigger. All right, so here we go with this one. Now on this one, I think personally it's much easier to think of taking the triangle and then subtracting the rectangle more than it is to add up different rectangles or whatever. And so we really, this red one is kind of what we need. And, we got to be a little bit careful here. Let me take another look at the picture. It looks to me like 6. That's a strange picture. They didn't label that as well as they could have, but we're going to go with the fact, if you don't mind, that 6 is the distance, say, I'll make a line from the right here. Since 6 is smaller than 7, we're going to say that blue line is 6, okay? And if that's 6, again, this isn't drawn to scale here, then that means that the distance, you know, of the blue line is 10 minus 6, which is 4. And so the rectangle has got an area of 28. And then the triangle, you might remember, the area of a triangle is half times the base times the height. And so of the triangle. And so anyway, all the way across here, we're going to say, whoops, hang on. All the way across is, let's make a line again. All the way across there, that's going to be 2 plus 7 plus 4. And so all the way across there is 13. So we're going to say that this distance here is 13. And so the area of the triangle is going to be 1/2 times 10 times 13. You can put another times in there if you want, times. And so 1/2 times 10 times 13 is 65. And so 65 is the area of the triangle. And then we're taking away, remember, the area of the rectangle. And so just to remind you here, we decided that this one that I'm pointing at is 6 and the whole thing is 10. And so that means that this little blue one here has got to be, it's got to be 6, right? I just said that. And so we're going to take 6 times 7 and multiply them together, and that's 42. And so 65 minus 42 is 23. Okay, and so our answer here is 65 minus 42, which is 23. And in this case, we're using centimeters, and so our answer is 23 square centimeters. All right, the video production is really on the ball here, isn't it? All right. Anyway, let's do another one. Let's take a look here. And so this worksheet here on the front page has 10 things, and it all has rectangles and triangles. And again, you can think of adding them up separately, or you can think about taking the whole thing and then subtracting what's missing. Either way works. Different people, I've learned over the years, have different brains that work differently. And so whatever works for you is what you should do. All right. You can see that the answers to the odd ones are given to you. Okay, now on the next few pages, it's a similar assignment where you're adding and subtracting areas. Now, it is true that on this one, there are some that involve some circles. And so let's just take a look here and maybe we'll work on one that has something circular to it. So let me copy that one and we'll make it over to our worksheet here. And we'll probably need to make it bigger as we did before. Whoa, that's big. And so now we've got this shape here. This 17 to me indicates that the distance from here to where it starts to become circular is 17. And so we're going to make a vertical line about there. And so now we're going to say that we have a rectangle added to a half a circle. And so our area is going to be the rectangle plus the circle. Well, the rectangle is 14 by 17. And then the circle, okay, so you might recall that the area of a circle is pi r squared. Now, we have half a circle, and so we're going to say this is a half times pi. I'll just write pi for pi, times r. And so in this case, the r is 7. Okay, let's talk about that here in a second. And so remember that the radius of a circle is half the diameter. And so the diameter is all the way across, and so that's 14. And so I'm getting 7 because this distance here is here. Let's make a line. This distance here is 7. So right about half of that, we're saying that the red one is 7. Okay, so our answer, if we get on our calculator here and take 14 times 17 and then add a half times pi times 7 times 7, so that's going to equal, I went back to red, I guess, but 14 times 17 is 238. And then if I take, what in the world is happening here? I got a cursor. It doesn't want me to type in the plus sign. Try it a different way. Okay, it works when I try it a different way. So then I need to take pi times 7 times 7. And so I'm pretty confident you guys can all do that. And so this is about 77. Okay, 76.97 is what it is. But we're going to round to the nearest whole number today. And so our answer is it's about 315. Okay, we don't have a unit here, and so we'll just leave it as 315. So the area of a circle is pi r squared, and we found it to be half of that on this problem. Let's just take another quick look at our assignment here. This one would be a rectangle with a half circle on either end, and so you're going to want to think of it as a full circle plus a rectangle probably. This one is a triangle with a circle cut out, and so you'd want to find the area of the triangle and then subtract the area of the circle, and so that'll work there. The rest of them have some triangles and some rectangles. You'll add them up and subtract them as you were before. So we'll go with that. All right. Then at the end of it, it's we've got these questions regarding carpeting your house. And so it says, given the diagram of a house you plan to build on the next page, answer the next 2 questions. And so you can see on the next page here, we've got this one. And it tells us that we're going to carpet the master suite, the bedroom, and the dining room in one type of carpet from one store. And then we're going to carpet the great room with a carpet from the next store. I'm going to let you deal with that, other than to say, you just want to add up the areas, right, of the master suite, the bedroom, and the dining room for the first part. And so these marks say these 13 mark 6, that means 13 and a half feet. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of leave it right there for you. And then they're going to ask you some questions about taxes and so on. All right. The other part that's important here is it says you wish to carpet the great room using carpet from store B. At store B, you're given prices by the square yard. You might notice up here in store A, you're given prices by the square foot. And so we got to figure out how many square feet are in a square yard if we're going to do that. And so let's just make a quick little diagram here and talk about it. And so if we have a square, okay, and let's say that this is 1 yard, but it's also equal to 3 feet. And then in a similar way, this is 1 yard, which is equal to 3 feet. Then, if you break this up into the 3 feet, I'm estimating for the most part here, I'm going to do my best to make it look square, but I'm trying to also do it quickly. And so if we broke that up into thirds and then broke this up into thirds, then I think the point that I hope that you're realizing that I'm making here is that 1 square yard is equal to 9 square feet. Okay. And so that should help you with your homework on that part of it. All right. I hope that this helps you with your homework. And it's been a little while since we've seen each other in person. And hopefully on the next time we meet, it'll be in person. Enjoy.